Have you ever felt like you are running full speed toward your dreams, only to crash into a wall you cannot even see? You have the talent. You have the vision. You even have bursts of intense motivation where you feel like you can conquer the world. Yet, months pass, then years, and you are still standing in the exact same place. What is this invisible wall, and why does it keep stopping you? In the freezing, isolated village of Vanguard Peak lived a young apprentice named Elian. Elian had one dream: to forge the sun steel blade, a legendary sword that would earn him passage out of the endless winter and into the grand kingdom below. He knew exactly how to make it. He had studied the ancient scrolls. He had gathered the rarest iron from the mountain caves. He had everything he needed. When Monday arrived, Elian was filled with burning motivation. He lit the forge, the flames roaring into a brilliant orange. He grabbed his heavy hammer and struck the glowing iron. Sparks flew into the air. He worked for hours, sweating, focused and powerful. But forging sun steel requires extreme heat. After 3 days of relentless work, Elian's muscles screamed in agony. His hands were blistered. The blistering heat of the forge became unbearable. "I have worked hard," Elian whispered to himself, wiping soot from his forehead. "I deserve a small break." He stepped away from the fire and walked to the open door of the forge. The cool, icy blue wind of the winter brushed against his face. It felt so soothing, so relaxing. He sat down in the cold, telling himself he would go back to the fire tomorrow. But tomorrow turned into 3 days. 3 days turned into a week. When Elian finally returned to the anvil, the iron had turned cold, rigid, and dull. He sighed, lit the fire again, and tried to resume his work. He hit the metal with all his might. The blade shattered into a dozen useless pieces, falling onto the ash-covered floor. Elian dropped to his knees, devastated. An old, scarred master blacksmith, who had been watching silently from the shadows, stepped forward. He picked up a broken shard of the metal. "You blame the iron for breaking, Elian," the old master said, his voice like grinding stone. "But the iron did not fail you. You failed the iron." Elian looked up, tears of frustration in his eyes. "I hit it with all my strength. I gave it everything." "You gave it everything, for 3 days," the master corrected him. "You stepped away when the heat became uncomfortable. Metal does not forge in the cold. When you constantly heat it up with motivation and let it cool down with laziness, the iron develops microfractures. It becomes weak, and eventually it shatters." The master pointed a heavy finger at Elian's chest. "That is your invisible wall, boy. It is not a lack of talent. It is not bad luck. Your wall is the gap between your bursts of motivation and your lack of consistency. You love the idea of the finished sword, but you run away from the continuous pain of the fire. How many times have you done exactly what Elian did? You start a new project, a new routine, a new journey. For the first few days, your motivation is a roaring fire. But the moment it gets boring, the moment the excitement fades, and it just becomes hard, painful work, you step out into the cold. You seek comfort. You scroll on your phone. You say, "I'll do it later." And every time you step away, your dream cools down. It fractures. It shatters. Talent is a spark. Motivation is the kindling. But discipline is the agonizing, uncomfortable, relentless heat required to forge a masterpiece. You cannot build an extraordinary life while taking breaks in your comfort zone. The invisible wall between you and your dream is made of the days you decided not to show up. If you want to break that wall, you have to stay in the fire, even when your hands bleed, even when no one is watching, even when the heat is unbearable. Do not let the iron cool down. Pick up the hammer, step back into the fire, and this time, do not stop until the blade is finished.